Factsverse presents. When a 94-year-old lady gets a $2,500 fine for her trash-filled yard, she makes a desperate phone call. First, help us spread the word about Factsverse by clicking that like button. Also be sure to subscribe and click the notification bell so you don't miss our future videos. Most cities and towns have rules when it comes to trash in your yard. If the trash piles up and your property becomes an eyesore, your neighbors have every right to complain. The mess that is your yard can actually lower the property value of your neighbors' yards. That's why if somebody calls to complain about a messy yard, the local authorities will often check out the situation. And that's what happened to a 90-year-old woman named Agnes Maples. Agnes had a huge mess piling up in her backyard, but she wasn't the one who made the mess. A relative of hers was going to her home often and dumping garbage, old broken furniture, and other items in her backyard for a long time. Agnes told him again and again not to do this, but he wouldn't stop. Because the man was family, Agnes never called the police. It wasn't until somebody made a phone call about this mess in Agnes's yard that things got serious. When Agnes's neighbors called to complain about her yard being an eyesore, they sprang into action. She received a letter saying that if she didn't clean up the mess, she would be charged a fine of $2,500 per day. Agnes lived on a fixed income. There was no way that she could afford to pay that kind of fine. Since she was 90 years old, she had no way of getting rid of the trash herself either. She was not in good health, and she tired out too easily. She could never handle the job on her own. After getting the letter, she called the relative that left the trash there numerous times, telling him that he had to come and clean out the yard. She told him about the letter that she received. He still did nothing. She didn't know what to do. Agnes didn't know where to turn. When she made a few calls to find a company that specializes in major cleanouts like hers, she heard what they charged and realized she couldn't afford to pay somebody to do it either. Agnes was desperate. Finally, she heard about an organization called Operation Blessing. They're a faith-based charity who handles jobs just like the one Agnes had. She contacted the charity, and they were happy to come to her home and help her out. Finally, Agnes found a little hope. When the charity arrived at Agnes's house, they realized that there was a lot more than just junk in the yard. She had a decaying old shed in the backyard too, which was very unsafe. She also had an old trailer back there that needed to be removed. They also discovered her roof was in desperate need of repair. They decided that they would do what they could to make sure Agnes's house was safe and clean. They knew that it would be a big job and a difficult one, but they decided they were going to do it anyway. The group began early in the morning. They started by cleaning the trash and other items from the yard. They wore masks and gloves during the cleanup to ensure their safety. While one group was working on the piles of garbage, another group was working on tearing down the shed and the trailer. Everything would be thrown onto a truck for disposal. It was a huge project, so the charity sent all the volunteers to her home. The group didn't have any experience with roof repairs, so they contacted volunteers at another charity called Regent University. They knew that putting a tarp on the roof would only be a temporary fix, so they brought the necessary roofing materials and fixed the leak themselves. After the group from Operation Blessing finished cleaning up the trash and tearing down the old structures, they decided to brighten up her yard. They put in flower beds just to make her yard look great. They even added some ceramic statues. They wanted to improve her home's curb appeal, and they did a great job at it. Before leaving Agnes's home, the volunteers from Operation Blessing asked her if there was anything else that she needed to make her home more comfortable. Well, she told them that she didn't have an air conditioner and her home got really hot during the summer. No problem. Later that day, a few volunteers showed up at her house with a brand new air conditioner. Agnes couldn't believe what she was seeing. When Agnes was asked what she thought about the charities and what they did, she said, "God bless them. They're wonderful. I love them. I've been blessed, and God has never left me. He's still with me. They started working and they sure did a good job. They're all my little angels. I will never forget them. I love them." Give Operation Blessing your thumbs up by clicking that like button and subscribe for more.